Hi everyone. So, I recently returned from my trip. I went on a little trip to New York City, and aside from a couple of souvenirs, I brought something back with me. That was COVID. Yeah, I have a lot to talk to you about. Basically, I've been sick all week, and about last night, I finally started feeling a bit better and being able to talk a bit more normally, except my voice now has a new weird husky quality to it that it's never had before. I'm sure you guys are well acquainted with what my voice sounds like, so I thought it would be kind of fun if I recorded this while I still sounded like this, for something a little different for you guys. So if you miss my normal voice, sorry. I am pretty sure I'm not gonna sound like this for the rest of my life. That would be weird. So just give it a few videos, I guess, before I sound normal again. If you like it, good. Hopefully don't get too used to it. But today, I'm just gonna ramble like this, all about my trip, and I've got loads of pictures and videos to put in. I'm still not feeling great, so if you notice a change in my demeanor, it's that. Yeah, I'll talk all about it, but first we have to go back to last week. Actually last week I was in New York. I've been back for so many days and they're all blending together because I was so sick for a lot of it. I'm gonna look at my pictures and videos while I talk to you so that I have a vague idea of what you were looking at and what happened, because the days blur together for the trip too, and I have to remember, break it down what happened. So I went on this trip with my partner and two close friends. One friend I've traveled with before, and the other is a newer friend. Never traveled with him before, but I definitely would. He was a lot of fun to be with, and we've all been to New York before, except for my partner. For those who don't know, Rob, he's British, and he hasn't seen too much of the United States. He's been to a few, but he's never been to New York City, so I've been really excited to get him over there for a while now, and I've been twice before, but they were both when I was in high school. First time I think I was about 14, and it was just like a high school chorus trip because I was in like the chorus, the choir, and it was okay. I mean, the trip, I enjoyed being in New York City, but I didn't enjoy the trip because there was a guy there who was really mean to me, and he kind of bullied me in front of the whole trip, and that was kind of mean. Don't bully people because they will remember it over 10 years later, okay? I still don't like that guy. The next trip was just a couple years later, and I went for the Thanksgiving parade. If you're not American, every Thanksgiving a department store holds a big parade. It sounds so weird if you think about it. If you're not American, like Rob, you probably have never heard of this parade, and it's so weird if you actually stop and think about it. imagine, like, if you're British, imagine Fortnum and Mason just held a parade down the streets of London every year, and everyone in the UK stopped and watched it. Like, it's a really big deal in America, and it just shuts down a bunch of streets. Everyone tunes in around the country to watch it. There's loads of performance artists, Broadway shows perform, so we didn't want to see that. We weren't in New York to see that, but I did that when I was a teenager, and that was the last time I was in New York City. So it's been over 10 years. Yeah, been over 10 years. So I'm really looking forward to going back. So let's see, the flight was fine. No issues there, but as we got close, we did have a really awesome view of the city and the city lights. Yeah, it was good. These photos are atrocious. Oh my gosh. And you could see the Statue of Liberty from the plane. Shortly after we got there, we met up with a couple of friends of all of ours who live in New Jersey. We flew to New Jersey. It's cheaper to fly there and stay in New Jersey than in New York City, of course, which is a very expensive city. So our friend took us out for some food, and we had the most bizarre experience. We're all really tired. It's really late at night. It's about 11 p.m. It's quite late to be eating. We all order some small appetizers and stuff. No one's starved or anything. Because we ate at the airport. And when we asked for the check, they come bring us this massive, like, $300 bill. And obviously we're like, okay, let's split this up because there's like 6 people here, okay? And so when our waitress comes back, we're like, hey, can we split this up? She goes, no, we don't split checks, but if you give me 3 credit cards, I can put it on 3 different cards. And we were like, this is so weird. We all thought this was really weird. But anyway, I think we had to split it evenly, and we have to go in and figure out who ordered what. It was such a hassle. I didn't understand why this was such a big deal. That was our first night. And then after that, our friend took us to a rooftop bar nearby with this amazing views of Manhattan in the distance. And we rode up this elevator a really long way, and we could see the financial district quite well, and then you could see a bit of Midtown. Yeah, it's really cool. And you could kind of see the Statue of Liberty, I'm pretty sure. So that was quite fun. We hit up a lot of bars, and for those of you who don't know, I don't / can't drink, so I always just kind of sit there and enjoy the vibes, or drink a lot of water. Although whenever I'm on vacation, I feel like I don't get enough water. It's at this point that I reckon, I don't know, I feel like I probably got sick pretty early on, because I think it shows symptoms for a while. But then we all head back to our Airbnb that the 4 of us are renting, and everyone really wanted a New York bagel, so we went to Ross and Daughters in the morning for breakfast, which wasn't quite the bagel experience everyone wanted. This is one of the things that a couple of the guys got. It's like a pretzel bagel, and it's really small. The coffee was fantastic though, very strong, and mine is a mushroom barley soup. I love mushroom soup, and I saw that and I got excited. And I'm also, don't shoot me guys, I'm not a bagel person. I don't know, I do love bread, but so Ross and Daughters was good, but it was pretty pricey for how small the portions were, and no one was really satisfied after that. So we immediately went from there to Chinatown, where we ate again. And I mean, I can always eat Chinese food, like literally always. So I took everyone to a place that I had seen online as having some of the best pork buns in Chinatown. I don't know, I thought they were good. They were pretty different from the kinds of pork buns I usually have. And this place was at, I want to say Meilaiwa. And they also had dim sum offerings, so I got some jiangfen, some hagao, and everyone got pork buns, and some of them got pineapple buns. So Meilaiwa. The dim sum was okay here. I have had better hagao and jiangfen. In fact, I did on this trip, but the buns were pretty good, so we enjoyed that. We kind of walked slowly around Chinatown after that, trying to kind of slowly make our way north. Our plan was to hit up Central Park and any other parks that looked good, and basically if we saw anything that looked fun, we would stop, we would go in, and we would check it out. It was meant to be a kind of a casual, sleepy trip where everyone gets to see stuff they want to do, but it's not stressful. We have all, literally, I think all of us traveled with people, and it didn't go well, where like someone was too stressy. I don't know, I can't speak, sorry, my brain's in a fog, but like traveled with someone in the group. It's like, we have to do this, and I'm freaking out, and everyone else is like, whoa, calm down, we're on vacation, let's chill. So see, I'm like cozy vibes all the time, even in real life on vacation. Next, we were walking past a tea place, and one of my friends was like, I need some tea, so we popped in. They had this cool statue of the Monkey King in there that I took a picture of. My dad's a big Monkey King fan, and I always liked him growing up. It's called Debut Tea, and I got not tea, I just got this big strawberry milk thing. It was delicious. It's just what I wanted. It's like milky with strawberry puree and chunks of strawberry, and it was very sweet. It's very delicious, and it came in this really fun jar thing. So I sipped on that as we walked around New York. It was a lot of fun. This was, I don't know, this was just a great moment from the trip for me, admiring the architecture and people watching a little bit. And the weather, by the way, was kind of warm, and I regret wearing this thick sweater. I had on a pretty warm wool base layer underneath it that I bought for my trip to Iceland, and I wasn't gonna wear it, but Rob, worrying about me and knowing how cold I get, was like, put it on. But it actually ended up being a pretty warm day, 66 degrees or so Fahrenheit, and I did not need that much clothes on, so I got a little warm. We found ourselves at this little park and just stood there for a second and listened to some buskers play, and New York and New Jersey are such great places for people watching. I really love it. And there was a guy doing like tarot, I'm pretty sure, nearby. That was kind of cool. So we eventually made our way to Central Park, and you know, Central Park is so big, there's so much to do and see, and we only saw maybe a quarter of it. One thing we had to see, because our friend who lives in New Jersey was going to lose his mind if we did not see it, was the Balto statue. I'm not overly familiar with the legend of Balto. I'm so sorry. Apparently this makes me a bad American. No one else was really familiar with him either. Let me know. Do you know who Balto is? How big of a deal do you think he is? I don't know, just tell me. Because he's apparently an American hero. This dog. He's a dog, if you didn't know. So we located this Balto statue, and they didn't even credit him. The name Balto is down there, and it's like so small. The rest of it is just like the sled dogs are heroes. But Central Park, as always, lots of fun. And at this time of year, the autumn, the leaves are changing and falling, and it's so pretty. It's such a picturesque place to be, especially when you just come from loud cars honking and the smells of the city, and it's a nice change of pace. I will say the city smelled way more than I expected it to smell, because it always does when I'm there. But it was particularly bad this time. We hit some stenches. Oh yeah, we saw this little guy, like an all-black squirrel. So pretty. Thought he was beautiful. Stopped and watched him for a while. And when we got to Bow Bridge is like a famous bridge if you don't know. It's featured in a lot of films, I guess. I don't think I've seen any of them. One of them I think is Made in Manhattan. They always reference that, and I've never seen it. But I was trying to take a picture of my 3 friends, and this woman kept coming up and asking, do you want to be in it? And sure, I wanted to be in a picture with them, but first I was trying to get a picture of these 3 guys, 3 friends, 3 of my friends, you know. I thought they looked cute together, and I wanted to take a pretty picture of them. And so I'm like, let me just take this picture first, but I guess she was not understanding, because she started getting annoyed and I think insulted. Like, I thought she was gonna steal my phone or something, which I definitely didn't think she was gonna take my phone. She seemed like a nice tourist as well or something. But eventually I'm sorry, I can't speak. She did take our picture after I asked her to, but she seemed really annoyed at that point because I had said no because I wanted to take some pictures first. Yeah, so anyway, they're kind of awkward. I won't show you these pictures though, because my friends are in them, or maybe I can block them out, I don't know. Just trying to respect their privacy, of course. But not to shade her, but they weren't great. I liked the picture I took more. We got a little tired at this point. We stopped and we sat at some benches on the water. I don't remember all the specific names of the spots in Central Park, sorry. I do know that we then walked to find the Tavern on the Green and the apartment building behind it, which is the Ghostbusters apartment building. That was a film I really liked as a kid, so I always think it's fun to see it. And yeah, let's see, we saw those 2 things, and then we were pretty much done with Central Park. This was a Friday, so our friends were working. We all had the day off, but so it was just the 4 of us exploring on our own. It was so lovely. Like I said, people were out running, walking, doing yoga, playing with their dogs. They were canoeing, or kayaking. No, canoeing. It's a canoe for sure. So it was just such a lovely day, and overall this was my favorite day from the trip. Sorry, I'm going through my pictures. That's a terrible picture of me. Why did I take that? It looked like they were doing construction on that bridge. So what did we do after that? Oh, one of my friends she went to New York, maybe like last year or something, and she really liked the Nintendo store, so she was like, you have to go to the Nintendo store. So I like Nintendo, so we found it. It was a lot smaller than I thought it would be. I was picturing like FAO Schwartz which we didn't go in FAO Schwartz, but from my memory, the FAO Schwartz building is a lot bigger. Maybe they're similar. They had this weird display of Mario. He was just kind of standing there. This was moving, of course, and every now and then he'd be like, "Come closer. Don't be shy, come and talk to me." Or he'd be like, "I can't hear you through the screen, you need to get a little closer." I can't do a Mario voice right now. I don't even have my own normal voice. I was terrified of this. I did not want to get close and talk to Mario. Sorry, Mario. But I did want to get my picture with Link. They had a Tears of the Kingdom blue hand Link, which was awesome. His hand was like glowing. I thought that was so cool. And then also behind Link, they had Animal Crossing plushies, and I was really tempted by this plush of Isabel's head, because it was like the squishiest thing I've ever felt. I loved it. It was just too expensive. I didn't want to spend too much money on this trip because food and flight and Airbnb was already so much. So this is next to like Rockefeller Center, so we kind of looked at that a bit. Now this was pre-Thanksgiving, so the tree, the giant Rockefeller Center tree, was present, but it was covered up by scaffolding. You got a sense of the scale, the sheer size, but we couldn't see it. They make a big deal of lighting it and all that. That's fine. There was a lot of other Christmas decorations up though, which is fun and festive. And the ice skating rink was there, and we watched the people skate for a little bit. I've been to the top of the rock, which was pretty cool, but I guess I didn't realize as a kid how expensive it is, so we did not do that. It was a little pricey. And then as we meandered through Rockefeller Center, we briefly found ourselves in the middle of a protest, and there were a lot of cops. We were slightly nervous that we were going to be arrested, despite being completely unaffiliated with this protest. But it was cool to kind of witness a protest in New York City. Like, I don't know, it's the kind of stuff I see on TikTok a lot, and I was like now right in front of it, and they're chanting, and it was nice to see people like enacting their rights as Americans to protest, and very cool. And what day? This is the same day. Sorry, I'm trying to remember everything we did. Oh yeah, at this point we were getting hungry, and we were planning to meet up. You know, it's nearing the end of the day. Planning to meet up with our friends for dinner. And so we had this a little bar. Oh wait, first we went to Times Square. Oh my god, Rob hated Times Square with a passion. If you are not American, or if you are and you've never been, just picture like a million cell phone at maximum brightness, like all around your face, and there's 20 different videos playing at top volume, and it smells. If you're British, if you've been to London, it's like Piccadilly Circus times 100, which is what he kept saying, because he's been to Piccadilly Circus loads. And I told him when we were in Piccadilly Circus, I was like, this is like a baby version of Times Square. Last time I was in Times Square, I was part of a flash mob, which is so cringy to think about. It was not a dance flash mob, it was a singing flash mob. I don't know which is worse, but that wasn't the last time I was there. That was the first time I was there with the high school trip. We stood in Times Square for a while, just kind of trying not to be run over by the sheer amount of people. Kind of fascinated by the knockoff characters that are standing around. We saw like Optimus Prime and Bumblebee, I think, and there were a couple of these weird big gorillas. Yeah, I don't know. It was wild. But then, like I said, we were planning food and everyone wanted a drink. We went to this little bar called like the Back Pocket or something, and we all got in this big argument. Not a real argument, but basically the Back Pocket, there's like 2 bars, and one's like the pocket or the front pocket and one is the back pocket, something like that. And we went in one and it was very tiny and they didn't have whatever drink it was that they wanted to drink, so we were told the front one, or we saw, had a bigger selection, so we snuck out and we went around to the front one, which you have to completely walk around the whole block to get to it. But upon entering the front pocket or whatever, we all thought, except for one, that it was identical to the place we had just been in, maybe a minuscule bigger. But our one friend insisted we're the same size. No, sorry, that this one was much bigger. But we were like, no, this is the same bar. It's literally a carbon copy. It was funny. We still argue about that. They gave us free popcorn. That was pretty cool. And then we decided, let's go get empanadas. We all love empanadas. So we went to Empanada Mama, which was nearby, and they've got this huge list. Every kind of empanada of all these fun, crazy flavors. I got a cheeseburger one, and it did taste kind of like a cheeseburger in an empanada. It was pretty cool. So everyone loved that. That was a highlight for food for everyone. No one had an empanada they didn't like. And after that we had to run, me and Rob, because we had a Broadway show to get to. We were the only ones seeing a show, so kind of had to abandon our friends. But this is the part where I'm gonna try not to talk for too long. I'm a huge theater fan, if you don't know, and I grew up in the theater. I love shows. I had to see something while I was in New York, and after a bit of debate and looking at ticket prices, I decided to see Hadestown. Oh, I'd never seen Hadestown. I try not to listen to any original Broadway cast or original cast recording before I see a show. I always want my first experience to be in the theater, and I think that's how I enjoy things most. This of course means that I'm not very up to date with modern musicals and theater, as I don't have the opportunity to go see them very often, or I'm too cheap to buy season tickets to like national tours. So hadn't heard any of the music from Hadestown, didn't know much about it except for the fact that I was likely going to really like it. So I didn't listen to anything before I went. I saw the show with Reeve Carney, who's one of the original cast, so that would be the same. I don't know if her name is pronounced Celia or Celia Pfeiffer, and the role was originated by Ivana Plazada. I'm a big Ivana Plazada fan, so I kind of I wish I could have seen her, but I am so familiar with her voice that anyway, Philip Boykin, Betty Who, and Lilias White as Hermes. I was blown away by it. It was so good. I knew I was gonna love it, and it managed to, I don't know, go above and beyond what I was expecting. I was just glued to my seat, my tiny little seat in this little theater. It's a small theater, even by Broadway standards. I won't say too much about it, because like I said, I could go on and on forever, but I saw Reeve in one of his last performances. I saw this on a Friday, and Reeve's last performance as Orpheus was on Sunday. So I caught one of his last shows, which was very fun. I wanted to see one of the original cast members. And like I said, despite being a huge Eva fan, I absolutely fell in love with Celia's voice. Just every time she opened her mouth, I had chills. Gosh, she was phenomenal and gorgeous, and just like couldn't stop watching her. Philip Boykin as Hades was, he's got this deep bass that every time he hits one of those low notes, I'm like, how do you do that? I'm a soprano, and I'm so like it now, but I always am very impressed by those deep bass notes. And I think Betty Who is kind of almost controversial. Like, people feel very mixed about Betty Who as Persephone, but I thought they were great. I loved their voice, and it had this kind of lounge singer kind of I almost want to say seductive kind of quality to it. It's really good. So hearing all these voices, you know, these are the voices that I will hear in my head and will forever associate with Hadestown, including Lillias White as Hermes, who I believe is the first woman to play the role. So for me, like, I kind of associate Hermes with being a female role. I have since gone and listened, by the way, to the original cast recording, and that was really interesting. Yeah, the differences. I almost hate myself for saying it, but I kind of prefer Celia's Eurydice. I don't know. Her voice was so good, and I love Eva Noble. So this is no shade to her. She sounds gorgeous on the tracks, but the set was so cool. I won't say anything about that, but there were moments where my jaw just like dropped. I cried no less than 3 times. A big like theater crier anyway. I think I've cried during every single Broadway show I've ever seen, which is like 3 shows. This was like my 3rd show on Broadway. But I just cry because of how much I love theater rather than a moment. So one of these was crying because I was back on Broadway seeing a show for the first time in over 10 years. And then the other 2 were because of emotional moments in the show. So yeah, I love it. And the lighting was really good, which is something I like never pay attention to, but it's kind of impossible not to in this case. So long story short, I'm trying to now see the national tour. Like, I want to see it again. I don't know how I can ever top this insane cast I just saw. I haven't been able to get any of the music out of my head since I heard it. Like, it just runs through my mind. Can't stop thinking about it. So good. So good. So that was, without a doubt, the highlight of my trip, was seeing Hadestown. The best part. Didn't really do anything else after that. I think we met back up with our friends, hit up a couple of little bars, nothing much happened, and then we got some semi-cheap pizza because Rob and I hadn't any pizza at this point. Apparently the rest of our friends got pizza while we were in the show, and it was bad. They all said it was the worst pizza they'd ever had. Glad I missed that. It was like $1.50 slices, and it was like cardboard apparently. But we went to this place, Rosetta Pizza, and it was decent. It was not amazing, insanely great pizza, but it was not bad. We had it at 11:30 or so. So the next morning, Saturday, we were determined we're all gonna get the bagel this time. So we went to Liberty Bagel. There's a few of them, I think, and they're known for how many different kinds of bagels they do, and also how many different styles of homemade cream cheese they make. I just need you to look at this picture. Does this look like cream cheese to you? Because I thought it looked like gelato. You know, when you go in those gelato places and it's kind of like piled high, it looks really appetizing, and they've got like stuff stuck in it, like representing what the different flavors are. Well, that was what they were doing, except it was cream cheese. And the first flavor I saw when I first looked at this display was birthday cake. And then I looked next door and I saw Oreo. So I'm like, this is ice cream, this is gelato. And then I literally see the words cream cheese in giant letters right above it. And I was flabbergasted. Who is eating birthday cake cream cheese? And more importantly, is it good? Please, if you've had the birthday cake cream cheese at Liberty Bagels, can you tell me? I was too terrified to try it, but kind of curious. I did not get anything, sorry, I'm not a bagel person, but I thought some of the savory options sounded really good, like dill and the chive. So everyone got stuff from there that they liked. This was in the financial district. We were looking at financial district stuff. We saw the bowl, and this is a funny video. This is a very short line for the front of the bowl, and this giant line is for the back of the bowl. We all found that immensely funny. Way more people lined up to take a photo with the rear. Afterwards, we walked over to the 9/11 memorial. Last time I was there, I believe they had only completed like half of it. One pool for one building. Obviously it's now completed. There's both pools, and there was a museum that I don't think was there last time. So, you know, we had a nice, somber, quiet moment here. Looked at the names, and the plan today was to go into Brooklyn. So after this, we decided let's take a ferry to Brooklyn. Thought that would be fun. So we did a little ferry ride. It was really a great way. I think really got to see the Brooklyn Bridge really well. I got some pretty good shots there. That was a lot of fun. And I'd never been to Brooklyn. On my previous 2 trips, I had largely just done typical Manhattan touristy stuff. But I thought Brooklyn was adorable. I loved it. My friends who've been have all said they loved it and that I would too, and I totally see why. It was great. So we had a good day, but for reference, the day before, Friday, we walked 12 miles around New York, and it started to hit us today a little bit. And it was in the afternoon. We all started falling asleep. So we kept it pretty chill today. We went to Brooklyn Flea, which is pretty cool, which is a big flea market under like an overpass, I guess. And Rob even bought a cool pair of vintage sunglasses. That was pretty fun. I think it's fun to get a souvenir from your trip that's useful, like something you will actively use, and whenever you do, it'll remind you of the trip. I think that's always a fun thing to do. You know, get a shirt, jacket, and it doesn't have to be themed to where you are. It can just be, oh hey, I got that in Brooklyn, you know, kind of thing. So Brooklyn Flea was really cute. And then walked nearby, beautiful views of the bridges, architecture. We walked along, everyone called it a beach. I'm from Florida. I don't know that I would call this a beach. It was like waterfront, but it was really pretty. We all kind of loved being there. It was chillier today, by the way. You might notice my jacket. It was chillier today, but still not, it was never really freezing. It was between high 40s to mid 60s the whole trip. Mainly in the 50s, which if you're wearing a couple layers, really not too difficult. So we posed on the beach with the bridge and all that, and then we all desperately needed to find a bathroom bathroom, we've been walking around. About this point, our two friends who were locals needed to go home and take care of their dogs, let them out and feed them and stuff. And so we kind of split up, and 3 of us went to go see a famous location. It's famous to us. We went to the Alligator Lounge in Brooklyn. It's a little far away. It took us, so it's dark by the time we got there. So our friend that we went with actually went to the Alligator Lounge a couple years ago on the recommendation of a friend. And then he's a huge fan of Nathan Fielder. He watches Nathan For You, The Rehearsal. And when The Rehearsal came out, if you've not seen Nathan Fielder's The Rehearsal, episode 1, there's only 1 season, heavily features this bar, the Alligator Lounge. So when he watched that, he's like, I've been there. So he went back on his most recent trip, and then he took us because we also watched The Rehearsal. They had a drink called the Nathan Fielder, which I thought was very cute. We were also very tired at this point. So essentially, me and Rob lapped the Alligator Lounge, saw where they made the pizza, saw the Nathan Fielder, and then headed toward the subway to go sleep. And our friend was meeting another friend, and we didn't really want to interrupt that. So that was our Brooklyn day. Sunday is our last day. We really wanted to eat dim sum. That was something that we had planned on doing, I think, back on Friday, and because we ate at little stops everywhere, we never got dim sum. So I took us to Namwa Tea Parlor that morning, which is this dim sum place that's been open for like 100 years, and I've heard good things. They managed to get us in pretty quickly. There was a line, but yeah, not long before we got in. And my 2 local friends, I don't think I'd ever had dim sum before, so I kind of led them through that, or helped, and told them, you're gonna eat this and you're gonna eat this. He really wanted pork buns, so we got some jajabal right away, and they're really big. I'm used to dim sum pork buns being much smaller. These were big and delicious. This is some of the best dim sum I think I've had. Maybe individual items weren't the best, but I think overall the food was all excellent. And one of the best things I had was, I thought their xiaolongbao, their soup dumplings, were very good. It can be really hard to get good soup dumplings, but they were good. Not Din Tai Fung quality, if you've been to Din Tai Fung, but pretty good for like a little dim sum spot. So Namwa Tea Parlor was so good that it was everyone's favorite meal from the entire trip. When we asked everyone what their favorite food was, it was either just in general the spot or was a food item from here. So I was really pleased everyone liked the dim sum. Dim sum has probably been my favorite style of food for as long as I can remember, where every birthday my parents say, we'll take you to get whatever food you want, Allison, for your birthday. And year after year I requested we get dim sum. So yeah, it's a special thing for me. Hagao was pretty big portions too. They were a little bit bigger than your average hagao. And after that, they took us back to their home, where we rested up for a little bit. It was where we had stuck our bags as well, because we had to get out of our Airbnb. So we went and picked up our bags, played with their dogs, before Ubering to the airport. So we ordered an Uber. We went outside with our bags. We waited for the Uber. We looked at the phone. We watched as the Uber went to KFC. Or did they go to Popeyes? They went to a fried chicken place, I think it was KFC. And then they just stayed there. And we waited like 10 minutes, and you know, we do have to get to the airport at a certain point. Our flight was about 4 p.m. We thought, let's get home, you know, in the afternoon so that we have the rest of the evening to unpack, decompress, because everyone had to work the next day, Monday. So at about 2 p.m. we're like, let's get to the airport, you know, early, rest, relax. And our Uber driver picked up fried chicken instead. So we waited for so long before canceling this trip. And then, fortunately, our lovely friend just drove us instead. Our friends are the best. Every single person on this trip is such a lovely gem. So we get to the airport. Go through security, all that. We got one last bagel. There was an Essa bagel place. Essa bagel. And okay, it's time to board our flight. Everyone boards. And we taxi a little bit. And we wait. Eventually we realize we've been sitting in this plane for like 30 minutes and it hasn't taken off. You know, we've been chatting or like looking at our phones, messaging friends, whatever. And then they start like going on the intercom and being like, yeah, there's like a little issue. We're checking it out. So we're like, okay. We ended up waiting like another half an hour or so before eventually they're like, yeah, we're gonna make you guys leave. Long story short, there was some issue with one of the engines. They kicked us off. We waited in the area outside the gate, or at the gate, whatever, and we just kind of waited for hours. Fortunately, one of our friends had brought a board game, a little game, Love Letter, so we started playing Love Letter. And it's about when we were playing Love Letter, you know, at like 5 or 6 p.m., hours after this flight was supposed to leave, I start feeling not so hot. I started feeling, and I've been exhausted since Saturday pretty much, after walking 12 miles, and then we walked like another 8 or so the next day, and it's all really hitting me. So I'm like, am I just exhausted or am I sick? Because it was like deep in my bones and my muscles, and to be honest, it felt like I had a fever. If you know how you feel when you have a fever, and everything just hurts from your head to your toe. So I'm sitting there playing Love Letter, and I'm like, I don't feel good. So I immediately slap a mask on me, which I should have been wearing more often during the trip. And then we continue to wait. We start getting concerned. Okay, the time that we were supposed to land has now passed. Eventually we realize, or we start thinking, this flight is not leaving tonight. So we asked, is there another flight to our city that we could get on? And fortunately that flight was near empty, so they move a lot of people from our flight to that one. Well, now since we've got to wait another 45 minutes or so, let's go get a drink and some food. So we leave and we do that. We did not end up leaving this airport until about 9:45. And don't forget, we got to the airport at about 2 p.m. We were there all day, and at this point, the point that we're leaving, at like 10, I feel properly sick. Not good. So we eventually land, you know, it's early in the morning or late at night, whatever, and we're so close, you know, so close. One of our friends had parked at a nearby hotel and called a shuttle to come pick us up. So we were going to take the shuttle to his car, and then he was going to drop everyone off. We called the shuttle. They're like, okay, go to the shuttle area, we'll be outside this one. We go there. We wait. shuttles start appearing, and we're like, is that the hotel? Is that the one? No, that's not it. Okay, bye. Wait a little bit longer. There's another shuttle. Is that our hotel? No, it's a different hotel. Okay, wait longer. Here's another shuttle. Oh wait, that's the same hotel from 20 minutes ago. Okay, so they've gone to the hotel and back. At this point, friend calls them up and is like, are you actually coming to get us? And they were like, yeah, he's on airport property. Just wait. So we're like, okay. Everyone is so tired. We have been traveling for like, feels like 12 hours, not quite, but you know, like 10 hours, 11 hours. I'm definitely sick at this point. I have a fever without a doubt. We're sitting outside in our little coats with our suitcases. We just look so pathetic. People keep coming and going. Shuttle drivers keep coming and going. We see the same shuttle drivers and they're like, you're still here? We waited for an hour before we literally begged another shuttle driver, can we just ride with you to your hotel? And then we will get out and walk to the hotel we need to go to, because they are not coming. We've been abandoned. Please, we are stranded. And the guy was so nice. He's like, they still haven't picked you up and it's been an hour? Keep in mind, this hotel is like a mile from the airport, okay? It's not that far. He takes pity on these poor weary souls and ends up dropping us off at the hotel we need to go to, which is literally across the street. We tipped him very well, so gracious. And then we all fall into the car and go home, now having been traveling for like 12 hours. It was all my animals were so happy to see me. It was so great. I wake up the next morning and I feel still terrible. I feel like I got hit by one of those shuttles. I take my temperature and I have a fever, as I suspected. I don't do a test though until later, and it very quickly turns positive. No one else in my party managed to catch it, so I am really pleased about that. And that actually happened the last time I traveled to Iceland. One person got it and no one else did. So it was luck of the draw, I guess, and this time is my time. I was so mad at myself because I pride myself on trying to be healthy, and also I made it almost 4 years without catching it. I have never had it. Also, I think I got like an older strain because I lost quite a lot of my sense of taste and smell, kind of coming back today. So that was Monday. It is now Friday. I have been out the whole week. Every day I'm like, maybe I'll try to work. I can't. I was bedbound for about 3 days because I had a fever until Wednesday. That just made me feel awful. Such a lifesaver has been having my Steam Deck. I've been like burning through Coral Island. I've been playing so much Coral Island ever since I got back. So that has literally been my whole last week. It started out very, very busy and eventful and exciting, and then it ended sick and sniffly and feverish and gross. So I'm starting to recover now. Feel bad that I got like next to no work done this week, but what can you do? Sometimes things happen that are out of your control. You just gotta roll with the punches. So I hope you enjoyed this rambly video with my weird, sick, husky voice. And I will be back soon with some more games, probably. And maybe my normal voice. I don't know. Maybe I just sound like this now. I don't know. I hope not. I don't really mind. It's fine. I feel like I sound like Megara from Hades. If you play that game, I love Hades. I can't wait for Hades 2. I'm obsessed with Hades in this video. Hades Town, Hades the game. Actually, Orpheus and Eurydice are in Hades, the game, and I love that plot point. So, okay, enough rambling. This is almost an hour long. I need some water, and need to film a video for my Patreons. So I will talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching, and for any of you New Yorkers out there, hope you had fun and hope you stay safe, because it's a germ-filled city out there. But thank you for letting me play in your city, and I had a lot of fun, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye.